What's up, everyone, and welcome to Clear Talk. Um, I just wanted to get on here real quick for today and give you an update on why I've been absent so far for this week. It's Wednesday, um, and as many of you may not know, but I live in kind of a rural part of Mississippi, central north of Mississippi. Central Mississippi, but the north part of central Mississippi. Uh, but in part of one of the counties that was hardest hit by this weekend's ice, part of this major winter storm. We had a lot of major ice accumulation and damage done. A lot of people out of power and everything, and that's the reason why I myself was out of power for a little over 2 days, 56 hours, and so I have some pictures I can share of some of the damage and stuff, just for fun, and and then talk about things that I did miss that I know I missed over the weekend. Things that's been going on that I would normally talk about on the channel, and will talk about in the next couple of days. But I'm trying to gather up information about that and trying to prepare down some videos maybe of what I can talk about. But I just want to thank you very much for any kind of support that you give. That's what this video is going to be for. So if you're new here, welcome to JMD. JMD. Welcome to Clear Talk. I do have channels here that does include JMDPLAY puzzling. If you like what you would like to check out more videos from the channel, please do so on Clear Talk. Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff if you would like to help support the channel, help support JMD Nation. If you can check out the other channels as well. If you'd like to see anything there, consider subscribing to those as well. That would help out those channels, and that would be amazing. Patreon there, $3 a month. You can support any of the channels that you would like, and help grow those channels, help grow Patreon, help grow JMD Nation, and contribute however you would like. That would be amazing. And if you were returning, you're freaking amazing. Thank you very much for coming back over and over and over and again. Because you are what, JMD Nation. But yeah. So yes, I live in. If you didn't know, if you're new here, if you have been watching and I never caught a video where I actually mentioned it, I do live in Mississippi. I am in rural red Mississippi. And while many people were affected in many different ways across this massive weather storm, catastrophic, like largest winter storm that we've had in decades, I am a part of the southern part of that had damaging ice accumulation. I watched the storm all last week, trying and hoping that it was not going to hit as hard as some of the forecasting was saying. But either way, we were prepared the best we could be prepared, and we made it through. But yes, it was very damaging. The most that I've ever seen in my lifetime. I do recall back when I was a child, we had a major ice storm in Jackson, Mississippi, where I lived then. That was pretty bad. We were out of power for a few days. But this was by far as anything that I could recollect and experience in the way that I've experienced, now as an adult, the most severe winter storm I've ever been through. And we've had, massive. We've had, some storms, a lot of ice, but mostly snow or something like that. I mean, we've had ice before, but not to this degree. And it was pretty wild. I would say somewhere between probably 3/4 of an inch to maybe an inch, if more, probably around 3/4 inch. I could be wrong. It's something right. It was a lot of ice accumulations, and caused limbs and trees to break all over the place. Thousands and thousands of people out of power, many out of water as well at times. And it was a lot. People helped out people, I know, a good bit. The electric company here that we deal with, which is sort of a smaller subsidiary kind of company that works within about 5 or 6 different counties right here. Um, they have done an amazing job. Yazoo Valley Electric did an amazing job, and give a shout out to them for doing the best they possibly can, along with some other um, companies that have come as well to help in that. Pearl Valley, I know there's today, I think, a group from Georgia um, that came giving additional assistance in the area. It's amazing for all these companies that are getting out there in these harsh conditions and working on these lines, clearing trees and limbs, and getting electricity to people as fast as they possibly can. That's been amazing. Um, but I could show you a little bit here. I got it on my phone, so bear with me a little bit. Um, this is my home here. All right, it's a little uh, double wide trailer, garage there and everything. Um, like I said, in the middle of rural Mississippi, but luckily, I had nothing of any major damage, anyways, to the house and whatsoever. So we got lucky in that aspect. See this tree here? This one right here was the most probably catastrophic of all the trees. I'll show you pictures. It lost almost every single limb up in the top of it. Fell. All these back behind my house, all they did was droop down on top of the house, and we're scratching the top. I have a metal roof, scratching the top, and that was kind of irritating for us at times, but not too bad. This is part of a massive oak that I'll show you. It had lost some limbs as well, but overall, not too bad. Um, but uh, was pretty crazy. This is a little more up close. You see limbs all over the place for this tree here. This one here fell on my barbed wire fence that goes around my property and broke one of the posts. That's kind of going to be a hard, well, not hard, but uh, intricate repair for me there. But this one right here, this right here was the closest call. This was a massive. I know you can't see, but it is a massive limb that barely missed my house. Like within a couple of inches. Honestly, it's like the butt of it's like this. It's huge. Um, Matter of fact, it came within inches of hitting even a water faucet that's right there at that specific spot. That could have been tragic. It kind of did split between my house and a staircase that I have coming down from my front deck. It split right between that. It hit so hard that like to have I think like a 16 by 16 cylinder block. That the very first one that on a walkway that I have that goes from my deck back to the front deck to the back deck. Um, it split that in three. It hit so hard, boom, broke it into three pieces. But ultimately, not too bad. This limb is hanging down on my back porch and a small portion on the back of the top of the roof, but it didn't do any damage. That was going to be a little tricky for me to get down, but I think I'll be able to manage that okay. But that's a little bit more of up close of that tree. Every single branch on the top of it busted out. Crazy. Um, and that was the one. Those broke before anything else. Like I was literally listening to those break early Sunday morning, as the rain was coming down, the freezing rain, and it was crazy. That one that fell and almost missed the house, I recall hearing that one fall. That was, yeah, it was hard. Uh, this is the oak on the back on the other side. A lot of some limbs from the top of it fell right down through here. But ultimately, this massive ass tree held its own. I have to. I mean that tree is wild. It is huge. And held its own for the most part. And this magnolia back here, which is our our state tree, it lost a lot of limbs, and I'll show you a up close of that. It's a whole crap load of limbs right here that fell out of it. Um, Here is some limbs with our swing set here. that kind of these couple of trees just leaning over. These cedars back here lost a lot of limbs back there. This is the my Starlink. It just froze up, but it worked when we had the generator. It hooked up to the generator. It worked, so we had internet when we needed it. So shout out to Starlink. Um, this is a beautiful like dogwood. Didn't do nothing but lean over, but this is out by the road, and it was very pretty when the sunlight went through all the icicles. It was actually pretty. It was actually very pretty, even though the ice was weighing it down pretty heavily. Didn't lose any limbs though. Um, this is that ma- uh, magnolia, and all of this is from the magnolia. Every single bit of this. I mean, it looks like a tornado hit, and I mean, just took down all these stuff. Um, this is my backyard. Uh, this tree held up pretty well. It only had like one, I think, limb really fall out of it. But all the rest of them just hung down. That's on the back side. It's what was scratching the roof and really got annoying there for a little bit. But yeah, pretty good. Not bad. This is the other side of that tree that lost all the limbs, though. See, this is the limb coming down on my stuff. All these limbs here is all from the top of it, every bit of it, uh, over hanging over on the barbed wire fences running back here. That was all that. So yeah, top of that tree from the other side is it was a lot. Um, but yeah, that we had a lot of limbs down. Luckily, none of them did any kind of damage to the house. We did lose power, like I said, and we were out power for 56 hours total. Um, but and that was through 2 nights at um, uh, I want to say around 16 degrees the first night. It got down to 12 degrees the next night. But between firewood, the fireplace, and a couple of heaters on the generator did an amazing job. Um, we managed to stay warm enough and made it through okay. Like I said, we had occasional internet when I decided to hook it to the generator, and we could, you know, get in touch with people where we needed to. And so we made it. We made it all right. And now we did, like I said, we got electricity back yesterday afternoon, and it a true blessing, really. I mean, you take for granted how much just having electricity um, uh, for hot water, heater, uh, it you take for granted how much that is for you on a daily basis, just to get through, or whatever. And it's without it, it takes a lot of, it takes some creativity, it takes some sort of go back to basics kind of survival thought, or whatever. And but we all come together and did it. All kids were here. We had fun, even though there was no internet for portions of it, and no power. We all had a lot of fun and got through it. So yeah, that's that. Now we are, it's going to be a bit of a work to get all of it cleaned up. I'm not in too big of a hurry on it. I'll do it as I can. It might take me a couple weeks or whatever, but I'll get it done and cleaned up. But again, just we're honestly we were lucky. There are some that had a lot of major damage, actually home damage. We never ran out of water. It did get a little low of pressure a couple of for a little bit of time, but we never run out. But some people did. Of course, now everybody's under boil water, but that's to be expected. But yeah, there was a lot of people that unfortunately did have a lot of damage, and some that are still out of electricity, and could be out for another couple of days. So that is, but I, the companies are doing their best and working as fast as they can, all done. And so again, shout out to them and the wonderful work that they are doing in these dangerous conditions. And you can't, you got to give props to them and got to understand that they're doing the best they can. But in all that aside, there were things that happened over the weekend. Um, and I will be doing some videos on that. I know you had the shooting of a nurse um, in Minnesota. Minnesota, I think he was shot like 10 times. Um, just crazy on that story. How that developed, and the the crazy flip of a switch or irony in the argument around the Second Amendment that the right always has, and then suddenly when it doesn't, when it's about the opposition, all of a sudden is, oh, wait a minute, we didn't mean it was okay for you to have the rights. I don't know. That's mad. And then Trump, of course, seemingly coming out against Second Amendment. Don't bring guns. It wasn't a problem before when it was right people doing it, but I guess now left people, we can't have, or what they would consider left people. We can't have guns. We can't have guns. It's just can't be doing it. You can't be bringing guns. We're going to talk about all that because that's just insane. And there's been more talk, I think, and concern around, well, with DHS and ICE, with all this going on. You have, I know, Noam is being pulled out of control on DHS, along with another part of another guy. I can't remember his last name. It's kind of wild. That's been kind of controlling DHS. They're out now apparently, and Tom Homan is now taking the control over those operations. So you've basically just traded one horrible person with another horrible person. And but Vino, the big head of DHS and ICE, that's been the head officer over all the operations in Minnesota, he has been pulled from his post as well. I do not know at this time who is taking his place. It may have been announced and I haven't seen it yet. But like I said, I will be getting all that information and putting together a video for that kind of stuff as well. So there's been some moving of chessboards or the moving of chess pieces. But unfortunately, I think it's still going to be just in the same fucking game. And nothing's really going to change. Because unfortunately, I think Trump's just, seeing that the imagery is pretty bad and people are pissed off. And so, I don't know, he just thinks that maybe it's just the way it's being spoken about, that Noam and is not doing a good job of expressing how good that this stuff is for people. The way this is being handled is actually for your own good. I guess that he doesn't like the way that that's being expressed. Who knows? We're going to talk about that though. Along with other things that have happened. Well, we're going to get to all that stuff in the next days, but I wanted to come on here and let you know, that's the reason why so far this week I have not done in a video, although it's only been a couple of days. But that's reason why and what happened. But we have power. I have power back, and we're going to get back to it. But I just wanted you to be patient with me. It went as I'm a little delayed on getting to this stuff, even though I would have already liked to have talked about it and under normal circumstances, and show the outrage that is very much needed in this moment, these moments. So thank you very much for joining me here, and again, thank you for any support that you do give. Very much appreciated. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you. Until next time, peace. If you are part, matter of fact, hold up. If you are a part, because I know that our area was not the only ones affected by this stuff. There's just areas even further north of me, a little bit, that was even worse than even us, and we were bad. There's areas up in Tennessee. And other areas that got heavy amounts of ice as well, but also got a lot of snow, and there's power outages all over the place. People that got record amounts of snow. If you were affected by this storm in any kind of tragic way or something, let me know. And or whatever, how you were affected by this, because this was a massive storm, and affected millions of people. And so I thoughts and go out to everyone affected by this, and hopefully they are getting what they need. I mean, even as massive as this is, and there have been some tragedies, some deaths and stuff, I do feel that it looks like it's relatively been low. I think I haven't, of course, just seen numbers or data from everywhere, but that's it. Hopefully, that's all good. I mean, because it could have been way worse. But I think there was good preparation by most. I think, uh, and so that's good. So again, thank you very much for joining me, and until next time, peace. Clear Talk. I'm out.